What's up, you guys? It's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my floor that I'm sitting on right now because I wanted a change of scenery because I sat down to film this on my bed, but like the background looked so dark and I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of it. So now I'm sitting on the floor. Today is Thursday. This is my last day of actual classes. So tomorrow we have a study day, it's Friday, so I don't really know. No one's gonna study on a Friday. But on Monday I have a final presentation, on Tuesday I have a final, and then on Wednesday I have a final, and then I'm done with my junior year of college, which is blowing my mind. Thinking about that makes me want to throw up a little bit, but that's also another reason like why I wanted to make this video. I haven't even said what this video is, but you probably read the title. Today I want to talk about some things that I wish I knew before going to college. So like I said, I am about to be a senior in college. If you are new here, hi, I'm Hannah. I finished my junior year in less than a week, and then I'm on to my senior year. And if you can't tell, I've been having a bit of an identity crisis about it because once I graduate, I'm gonna have to enter the world. And I've just been doing school for my entire life. 17 or 18 years of my life have been revolved around school, and then I won't have that anymore. And I am excited to graduate because that means I won't have college anymore, and college makes me want to cry, but also I feel like I'm gonna miss it, and I also won't be able to make college vlogs anymore, and that's kind of my brand, and I'm gonna have to completely reinvent myself, and I'm gonna have to find a job, and I'm gonna have to pay off my student loans. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to move out. Oh my, where am I gonna move? Where am I going to live? But that's pretty much where I'm at right now. One of the reasons I wanted to film this video is because I'm about to be a senior in college. I have 3 years under my belt, and I've learned a hell of a lot. And there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known before I went to college. I just feel like it was not at all what I thought it was going to be. So I wanted to share just some things I've experienced. I'm gonna try and keep this not really freaking long because I could probably come up with a very long list of things. So if by the end of this video you guys want me to make like a part 2 or something to this, I would be more than happy to do that because I feel like I have quite a lot to say because I've definitely not had the traditional college experience by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to talk, and if any of you relate to any of this, great. But these are just some things that I wish somebody would have told me. I have kind of texted myself some bullet points over the past couple of days because I've been thinking about this. Whenever I think of an idea, I literally have to write it down immediately or I will forget it. So I'm just gonna begin with some things that I wish I knew about college before going to college. I think I'm gonna start with the kind of application process, so like the pre-college stuff. When I was in high school, I felt so pressured to choose exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life before I got to college. And also, college was kind of just painted as this idea of this is the next 4 years, period. There was only one way to do it, which is just to go to a school, a 4-year school, love your school, go in there knowing exactly what you wanted to do. And that's just the complete opposite of what reality is. God, I wish I would have known that because I put so much pressure on myself to try and figure out what I wanted to do. For example, a couple things I wanted to be: a forensic pathologist because I watched too much Criminal Minds. I wanted to be a lawyer. I still think I'd be really good at that, but that's not what I'm doing. My major, by the way, is marketing with a minor in entrepreneurship. But yeah, so those are the things I thought I wanted to do, and where I am now, very different. I went down so many different roads and changed my mind so many times from there to now. So there's just no reason that anyone should even be acting like we need to know what we want to do going into college, because most of us don't. And I'm pretty sure the statistic is that each person changes their major an average of 3 times throughout college, and I've changed mine 3 times. I went to college kind of open-minded, honestly, because I went in undecided. Business, I knew I wanted to be in business. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I kind of just was hoping to figure it out as I took classes and just, you know, kind of figured out what I liked, what I didn't like as I worked through it. And honestly, that process worked for me. I went from being undecided business, and then I declared accounting. I'll get into that later, but then I transferred, which I'll get into also later. And then I was integrated marketing communication, which is like marketing and PR together. And then I changed to just marketing, but then I just added an entrepreneurship minor. It's been all over the place, but I finally found something that I really love. And it took me 3 years of college to get to this point. So please don't think, if you're watching this and you're about to go into college, that you need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life right now, because you don't, and you'll figure it out as you move through college and as you experience different things. Also, I had an unrealistic picture of what I thought that college looked like. I thought that there was just one typical college experience. You move away from your hometown, you go to a big school, you go to the football games, you go to parties, you have the best time of your life. And that is what I wanted. My school that I love with all my heart is Clemson. If you've been watching me for 5 seconds, you probably know that. I have family down there. I have family that went there. That was literally the only school that I wanted to go to. And I applied to, God, how many schools did I apply to? I applied to Clemson. I got in. I applied to Temple at the very last minute because I ran out of options and I ended up going there because it was the only option that I had at this point. I applied to Hofstra in New York. I got in. I don't know. I never toured it. I guess I just wasn't really that into it. I applied to Notre Dame, got rejected, which is bullshit because I know I'm smart enough to be at that school, but whatever. I really didn't apply to many schools because I didn't do good enough research, and I think that's another point I wanted to make. Do good research on your prospective schools, because if you don't have like multiple options and like a plan A, B, C, D, you're gonna end up like me and then at the last minute just applying to a school because it's the only option that you have, and then just committing because it's the only option that you have, and then maybe you'll end up loving it, but things happened along the way and then I ended up transferring because I wasn't happy. So just be more prepared than I was, because I wasn't prepared at all, and I don't think I realized how important it was to do that research. Anywho, my point is the typical college experience, there isn't just one. If you don't have the one I just described, like you go to a big school and you go to the football games and the parties, if you don't have that experience, it's okay, because not everybody does. College goes differently for everybody. Go in there with an open mind and just do whatever it is that makes you happy. Kind of going along with that, if you don't like the school that you pick, you can transfer. If you go to college and you feel that it isn't for you, you don't have to continue. Like, there's so many different paths to build a career. I just feel like the whole idea of, oh, this is gonna be the next 4 years of your life is really stressed a lot, but it just leaves out the whole fact that what if you don't like it there, and what if you want to do something else? There isn't anything wrong with changing and doing something else, and I feel like that's something that really needs to be stressed. I really wish somebody would have told me that, but I figured it out on my own, so now I'm telling you. Another thing about kind of like the pre-college stuff is when you're writing your essays for your applications, don't write about sports. The people reviewing your applications and the admissions, they don't want to fucking read about sports. I learned that too late because I wrote mine about sports. Don't do that. They don't care. Make it unique and personal to you, and like a topic that they're not going to read about 8,000 times while going through applications, because it's not going to stand out. Moving on to actually being in college. I think that I expected to get to college and my life was just going to do a complete 180 and I was going to make all these friends and it was just going to be the most incredible thing. And so I went into college wanting friends so badly, but I have social anxiety, so making friends isn't easy for me. I don't know why I thought it was going to be just because I was in college, but I realized that it's a lot harder than I thought. And maybe this is just me. I don't know, because I feel like I saw so many people around me just instantly making all these friends and clicking with these people, and I didn't click with really anybody. Also, I feel like I went into college wanting to be best friends with my roommates because I just thought that that's how it worked, and then I got there and I wasn't. So that I just felt very lonely, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I make friends? It was just really hard for me to connect with people at my first school. If you deal with something that's similar to that, just know that you're not alone, and it's not easy for everybody to just go into a new place and make a bunch of friends. Just be patient with yourself and keep an open mind to people. I did not put myself out there like I should have. I wasn't really social. There's a bunch of reasons for that. We won't get into it. I could have done a lot more looking back, and I didn't. I mean, hindsight is 2020. If I could go back and tell myself this stuff, like, I would, but I can't. I don't know why I just expected like friends to like come to me, so I didn't try and go out and make them, and that was a mistake. I also thought that when you got to college that everybody was automatically going to grow up and be more mature, and I couldn't even tell you how wrong I was. I'm guilty of it too, but thankfully I just think that I've grown a hell of a lot since I was a freshman. I just expected that I was gonna get there and everyone was gonna be super chill because we were all entering this next area of our lives, and it was time to kind of like get serious and figure out what the hell we wanted to do with the rest of our lives and like really work on ourselves. I just thought that people were going to be more mature and they were going to be less petty, and that's not true. People are going to be immature wherever you go at whatever age. Parties. This is a big one. One of the most common things that people talk about in relation to college is partying. I would go out, God, barely ever. I didn't hate going out, but I am somebody who I like to wake up early and I like to go to bed early. And by early I mean like 10. Like, I love sleep, and I also love being able to wake up like kind of early, like maybe 8 or 9, and like get my day started. It's just how I work. And people literally would not go out until like after 10 p.m. Like, they're getting ready and putting makeup on at like 10 p.m. and they're leaving at like 11 and not getting back until like 2 or 3 a.m. And I'm like, that for me, and especially in the winter, it's like 20 degrees. It wasn't for me, but I feel like not that I was pressured to go out, but I feel like that's how a lot of people made a lot of their friends, is by going out, and I didn't really go out at all. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that I'm better than anybody because I didn't go out. That's just not it. Like, I don't think that. I actually wish that I would have gone out more and that I had friends to go out with, because I feel like that would have been fun. So please don't think that I'm trying to sit on like a high horse. That's just not it at all. That's not how I feel at all about it. If you like to go out, that's great. I'm so happy for you, and I will watch your Snapchat stories the next morning. But if you don't like to go out, that's okay too, and you shouldn't feel bad for not wanting to. This kind of goes along with what I was talking about earlier about if you end up not liking your school. I don't really know if this is something I wish I would have known, but it's just something I wanted to say. When I would go home for breaks from school, I didn't want to go back to school because I just wanted to stay home. I got to school and immediately I felt so homesick. I thought that I wanted to get out, like move away really bad, and then I did it, and like a month or two in, I was like, I'm like really uncomfortable, and I was so far out of my comfort zone. But I stayed because I wanted to try and push myself, and I can't live my life inside my comfort zone. You don't grow inside your comfort zone. So I was like, okay, I need to just stick it out and whatever. So I did stick it out for 2 years, but it wasn't the fact that I was away from home. It was the fact that I wasn't happy or comfortable at the place that I was. But that's besides the point. My point is, we would go home for breaks, and all these people that I know looked like they were having an amazing time at college, and everybody over break would be like, oh my god, like I can't wait to go back to school. Like I hate being at home. I want to be back at school. I love my campus. I love my school. I love my friends. I love blah blah blah. And I remember seeing all that stuff, and I was like, I simply don't feel that way. That is the opposite of how I feel. I was like, well, is there something wrong with me? Am I the only one who feels this way, who doesn't want to go back to school because they aren't happy? Like, I just felt so alone. So if you go home during breaks and then you have to go back to school and you genuinely feel in the pit of your stomach absolute dread for going back to school, and you would literally rather do anything else, that's a sign, and you might want to listen to it. In the back of my head, I knew I didn't like it, but I kind of just tried to shh that voice in the back of my head because I didn't want to have to go through the whole process of thinking about, do I want to leave? Do I want to go somewhere else? Then I have to learn a whole new system, and I have to go and get comfortable somewhere else. And where even would that be? And would it be at home? Would it not be at home? When do I apply? All of that stuff all over again. And I didn't want to even think that far. So I just kind of tried to suppress those thoughts, and then look where we are. I ended up transferring. Okay, I think this is the last thing that I'm gonna say because I feel like this is like a really, really big one. This actually is a twofold thing, but it all has to do with your major. So I already kind of talked about this a little bit earlier when I said you don't have to figure out what exactly you want to do for the rest of your life, and you don't have to pick that major before you get to school, because you might go in thinking you want to be one thing and you end up being something completely different. That's like the first part of it, but probably the most important thing that I have come to terms with, to be honest, over the past 3 years regarding college and majors and your career choices and stuff. Do not pick a major just because you want to make money from it. If you do pick a major that will put you in a career that you make a lot of money, but you love that major, that's great. That's a win-win for you. Congratulations. But don't take a major and like a career path only because you want to make money and you think that you will be able to do that in that career, especially if it's something that you don't like. I don't even want to say this is the rest of your life, because it's not. Like, you can change your career if you want to. It's your life. But do not go to school for 4 years and pay all that money and study all those hours and do all that work for a degree in something that you don't like, just because you think that getting a job in that field will make you a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, life is so much more than the money that you make. Yes, you need money to be able to like pay for food and clothes and a house and stuff, but you can do that with a career that you are passionate about. I don't know how else to say this except to just illustrate an example of my own life. When I was going to college, going in to be a freshman, I knew I was going to be in the business school. I would look at Temple's majors like in the business school, and I would kind of read them and just kind of pay attention to how each one made me feel. And the one that I connected with the most and that I felt was the most promising for me and that could be the most enjoyable thing for me to do with my life was marketing. So I wanted to declare my major as marketing, but I was told by people that marketing was a useless degree and that you wouldn't make money and that I should do something like accounting or finance because that's where the money is. So what did I do? I went to college and I declared my major as accounting. God, when did I declare? I think I declared the fall of my sophomore year. So I went through my whole freshman year as undecided business. Fall of my sophomore year, I declared accounting. I was in my first accounting class. It was financial accounting. I understood it. I mean, I am pretty good at math. I don't want to like toot my own horn or brag or whatever, but I am pretty good at math. I can figure it out fairly easily. So accounting to me came easily, and it's something that does not come easily to everybody. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I was like, you know, maybe I don't have to be a CPA, which is a certified public accountant, which is kind of the path that a lot of people take when they have an accounting degree. I'm like, I could use it to do other things. Like there's so many options. Like it's a good degree for like whatever I want to do. And I was told that by some professors. They're like, oh, you can use your accounting degree for so many different things. But then after that point, like literally all anyone ever talked about in the accounting department was getting your CPA. And that's something that I just didn't want to do. I never heard anything about other opportunities for me to use my degree in like other ways other than being a CPA. I never heard about it ever again. So I finished my financial accounting class to go back to school for the spring semester of my sophomore year, and my friends who are accounting majors were talking about internships over the summer, because I guess like summer after sophomore year and summer after junior year are when you want to get your internships, unless you're doing a 5-year program, which means you're getting your master's in 5 years. I was coming up on the summer after my sophomore year. I didn't know if I wanted to do the 5-year program yet or not, because to be honest, I didn't even know if I wanted to be an accountant or an accounting major, so I didn't know how to decide that. But I was like, okay, if I don't want to do the 5-year program, I need to get an internship, or else what the fuck am I doing with my degree? Everyone else is going to be ahead of me. And the thought of getting an internship over the summer as an accountant somewhere made my skin crawl. Literally. At this point, I had had my YouTube channel for about a year. All I wanted to do was make videos. All I wanted to do was creative stuff, and I was like, I don't want to work an internship for an accounting firm or like doing accounting. It literally was just the last thing that sounded appealing to me. And that's when I realized I seriously needed to do something, because if I didn't even want to be an intern, there's just no way that I was going to do this as my career. And that's kind of like what got the ball rolling on me wanting to get the fuck out and go to a whole different school and change my major and just change the trajectory of my college career completely. That was kind of the tipping point, and then things really crashed hard my second semester sophomore year. My mental health was so bad, like one of my all-time lows. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like I genuinely had that moment where I had no idea what I was doing with my life, and it freaked me the fuck out, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know how to create a life that I wanted to live. I was living by other people's standards of what a good successful life is, or a successful career. I picked a major that I wasn't passionate about to enter a career that I didn't want to enter, because other people told me that the major that I wanted to do was useless, and that I would make money as an accountant, and that would give me some type of like stability and security. And I really clung on to that. I wanted stability and security because I have anxiety and nothing is really stable for me. So I'm like, okay, having stable income, that's great. So I really clung to that idea, and I couldn't force myself to live the rest of my life doing something that I just didn't want to do. And nobody should be forcing themselves to do that, because that's just not the point of life. We only get one life to live. Why are we spending it unhappy? I knew that I had the choice to, you know, change my trajectory and do something else that I actually wanted to do. And that's what I did. I transferred. I entered a new major, integrated marketing communication. I thought that it would be more broad. I would have a lot more opportunities because it included PR. But then at the beginning of this semester has been a roller coaster, by the way. I started off taking 18 credits. 1 day or 2 days into the semester, I changed my major, dropped a class, was only taking 15 credits, changed my major because I didn't really want to do the PR part. Like I didn't really care about that. I was gonna have to stay longer, and that would have been fine if I was actually passionate about PR, but I'm not. Like I just wanted the marketing stuff. So I became just marketing, and then maybe like last month or the month before, I figured out that I could add an entrepreneurship minor, and I still was able to graduate on time. It was the perfect combination for me, but I started out completely different major, 18 credits, and ended the semester completely different major, 15 credits, online classes at Zoom University, because there's a global pandemic. If that doesn't highlight how unpredictable life is, I don't know what does. The moral of this long ass story that I have just told you about majors is that I ended up in the major that I originally wanted to be in 3 years ago, but I pushed it to the side because I was like, oh yeah, it's useless, like I won't make any money. And then I went on this roller coaster of changing my major, taking all these classes, freaking out about internships, transferring, genuinely having no idea where my life was headed, when the whole f***ing time I wanted to be a f***ing marketing major. Look where I am now. Please do not let anybody influence your passion, basically. I wanted to do creative shit. God, I don't know what my college experience would have looked like and how different it would have been if I would have just stuck to what I wanted to do from the beginning and not let other people influence what I was passionate about. But my point is, if there's a major that you find and you love it, you are passionate about it, you want to do it for the rest of your life, you will be successful. Why? Because you're passionate about it. Somebody who's passionate is going to want to work so much harder and put in so much more time and effort. Working really hard and putting in time and effort leads to success. Whereas somebody who's just in something because they want the money, maybe they're making money and they consider that a success, but if you're not passionate about something, you're not going to be as driven and motivated to put the time in and to really devote yourself to it. What are you getting out of that career other than money? And like I said, the world and life is so much more than money. You just cannot let people who aren't you and aren't in your shoes tell you how to live your life. You're the one, at the end of the day, you're studying in college, you're picking a major, you're the one that actually is going to have to go out into the world and use that major and, you know, build a career. You are the one. Somebody else who doesn't actually have to use that major, wake up every day, do that for the rest of their life. It's easy for them to say what you should do with your life, but they aren't the ones that actually have to live with it every single day. You are. I'm gonna end on that note because I think I've said a lot. I hope to God that at least something in this video was helpful or insightful at all. If you guys do want me to make a part 2 to this, I can definitely come up with more shit because, like I've explained, I have not had the typical college experience. I feel like I have a lot of stories and a lot of insight to share. So if you want a part 2 or any other like type of me reflecting on my college journey videos, please comment down below and let me know. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you stayed until this point in the video, comment down below I'm a real one because you're a real one. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I post a new video every single Sunday. And if you forget that I post a new video every single Sunday, or if I can't post exactly at my normal time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, which has been, like I said in my last video, getting kind of messed up because school has been overwhelming, but once summer starts, literally in less than a week, I should be able to get back on track and stay consistent, thank God. I mean, hopefully, who knows what life will throw. To make sure you turn on my post notifications so that you get notified exactly when I post a new video. And yeah, so I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.